what are the nuts and bolts here? What are these changes really mean for consumers and marketers? What does this really mean?
Well, so for the first few of them, and you see them all around mail and email. We didn't really talk about explicitly, but that's also a core of it because we as V12 we do a lot of we have email service provider technology. We can send acquisition emails for companies on their behalf, and those things, in order to get them right and make sure they're working, they are loaded with tracking pixels. And at the crux of this, that is exactly what those first three are looking at, because it's unclear to them, is this a harmless tracking pixel just to give feedback to the brand of whether that marketing message was relevant? Or is this pixel being used for nefarious purposes where it's actually collecting data off of that device, sending it to a third party, and now the person who opened that email might be at risk for some sort of identity theft or other sort of nefarious activities? And so those first three are all about simply not allowing those tracking pixels to fire, not putting the feedback data to the brand who sent that email, whether it's an acquisition email or a CRM email, and so that you're kind of all of those metrics that you use from a click and engagement perspective start to become in doubt. And I know I see this all the time. We see dramatic changes in things as we think as simple as open rates and click rates, and they're no longer predictable in a lot of cases. And then that last one, that was the one that really created the headlines from some of those negative advertisers, because sharing of the mobile ID across apps allowed for a lot of identity tracking, as you mentioned before. It helped companies, some of those walled gardens, even mix in impressions outside of their own app with other apps and those things of the like. And so that was huge, because I know we all think of this. Sometimes you just click yes, you want the app, and you just agree to things. And every once in a while it hits you, well, why does this app need geolocation services?
Right.
Why does this app need my contact information, right? There was that one app that was a photo app, and people didn't realize it, is that they were just collecting and making stock inventory for ad campaigns, right? So they're just housing selfies to sell out to creative agencies for whatever purpose, and you were consenting to give them those rights on your own image, right? So those types of things are real, and I do think that the tracking was good for consumers, but it certainly caught a lot of those walled gardens by surprise, because they were relying so heavily on mobile on these mobile ad IDs associated with a cell phone, and it being persistent, and the ability to port across apps on the phone was a lot of key to some of the benefits they provided to advertisers.
Yeah, I think for me that was the most um, eye-opening, like you said, of
Yeah.
apps. And again, now that I get the message, if I'm using an app or downloading a new app, I'm so thankful for that actually as a consumer, because I would never have even thought of it before. And then I'll think of the app I've downloaded. Why does this app need to track my track my location? You
Right,
know,
right.
I mean, other than maps, I'm not really sure who needs to track your location really. But I'm just it like as it kept coming up, it started to be a little scary to me. And I agree that I think that that is actually one of the better outcomes of these privacy changes personally.